The thing with fake stream media is that the few hundred people left who still watch it are mostly vaccinated, fluoridated, and dumbed down in 12 years of communist-style government indoctrination camps. So the people who do watch have no idea what kind of absolute garbage they're watching. You could probably sit them in front of an Etch-a-Sketch with the word stocks crudely written on it, and they wouldn't notice a difference between that and CNBC. That must be the only reason Jim Cramer still even has a job. Only in a world where the audience are brainwashed zombies could Jim Cramer say Bear Stearns is fine when it was trading at $62 in 2008, and then 6 days later, the company was sold to JP Morgan for $2 a share. And Cramer still has a job to this day at CNBC.
Should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? No, no, no. Bear Stearns is fine. Do not take your money out.
So when we heard Jim Cramer just said on CNBC that Bitcoin was going to $1 million, we shuddered. Everything Jim Cramer says is completely moronic and usually totally wrong, and you can usually make money by doing the exact opposite of what he says. So it was very worrisome to hear that he thought Bitcoin was going to $1 million. But then I watched the video.
We got to talking about how, yes, that when you get hit by a cyber attack and ransomware, you have to pay them in Bitcoin. Now, did you guys know this? When you get hit and you're not sure how to do Bitcoin, that these cyber attackers have customer service desks to tell you how to buy Bitcoin to pay them. Now, I know this is not facetious. They have customer service desks. And you want to know why one of the reasons why Bitcoin, no, there are many reasons why Bitcoin, there are whole countries that are trying to get money out of their country with Bitcoin. But I think the idea that when you're attacked and they give you a customer service, they give you an 800 number to dial to tell you how to buy Bitcoin so that you can get your computer unfrozen. I mean, this is a business. This is a supermarket. It's like Sandy Wild wanted with a supermarket of finance, supermarket of cybersecurity.
It's global, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, although no intrinsic value, limited supply.
Right.
As Henry Blodgett told us the other day, it could literally go to $1 million.
I think that it could, because the European banks are frantically trying to buy them so that they can pay off ransomware. It's a short-term way to be able to deal with cybersecurity, but it is the way to pay off the bad guys, because they don't want it. It's better than bearer bonds. You know, like the bonds. It's the way you pay them is Bitcoin.
Phew. His reasoning for why Bitcoin will go to $1 million is the most ludicrous, insane thing I've ever heard, which is par for the course from eardrum-cracking Cramer. According to him, Bitcoin won't go to $1 million because it's a paradigm shift and evolution in money, banking, and finance. No, the reason it'll go to $1 million per Bitcoin is because people will need it to pay blackmail. He said, I think it could, because the European banks are frantically trying to buy them so they can pay off ransomware. It's a short-term way to be able to deal with cybersecurity. It's the way to pay off the bad guys. Cointelegraph.com blew this theory out of the water within seconds, saying, in the case of WannaCry ransomware, the biggest ransomware attack in history, the distributors earned less than $100,000. That's only 0.0012% of the European Bitcoin exchange market. Thus, to say that the Bitcoin price is rising because of 0.0012% of traders from the 5th largest Bitcoin exchange market is not an accurate depiction of the surging Bitcoin price. Not to mention, we already outed WannaCry as a globalist false flag, so no need to panic sell Bitcoin. Cramer did say it would go to $1 million, but his reasoning was perhaps the most ridiculous thing we've heard yet about Bitcoin. He almost makes the Health Ranger look like a Bitcoin genius. There are some good reasons to speculate that Bitcoin could eventually be worth $1 million. In fact, I did that all the way back in 2013 in my article, The Dollar is a Barbarous Relic, The Rise of Bitcoin. In it, I made the case for why the US dollar and all other fiat currencies will be worthless in the coming decade, and then just did the basic math on what Bitcoin would be worth if it replaced the US dollar and was used worldwide as currency. Here's what I said. In 10 to 15 years, if things go well, Bitcoin will be real money, accepted worldwide, and it will be worth the equivalent of $1 million in today's dollars. And of course, the dollar wouldn't be anything but a bad memory then. Where do I get the $1 million figure from? Well, there are many ways to attempt to calculate the value of a Bitcoin, but if you make the assumption that in 10 to 15 years Bitcoin is a worldwide used currency, much like the US dollar is today, then all you need to do is look at the total dollar value of US dollars outstanding, which depending on your method of calculation could be anywhere from $4 to $12 trillion, and divide by the total amount of Bitcoins outstanding. Let's use the $12 trillion figure for ease of use, and let's assume there are 12 million Bitcoins outstanding in 10 to 15 years, also for ease of calculation. That number works out to $1 million per Bitcoin. The fact that 4 years later, Jim Cramer is on CNBC talking about Bitcoin going to $1 million to pay blackmail is hilarious, and just how behind the times they are. I actually appeared on CNBC in 2013, my only appearance, and while they acted like Bitcoin was weird and scary, I finished off by saying that the current monetary system is much more scary than any ideas they have about Bitcoin.
Yeah, you say it's really weird how Bitcoins came about, but that's really the free market at work, and the internet is the last place where there's actually a free market on Earth. Unfortunately, in the US, that doesn't exist anymore. There's no real freedom anywhere on Earth except for on the internet, and these are the kind of really interesting, exciting innovations that can come from the free market. This monetary system we have today is much more dangerous than anything Bitcoin has.
They've never invited me back since. Apparently, you're not supposed to let people know about the coming dollar crash ahead of time. No big deal though. The Dollar Vigilante has about the same total audience as CNBC does on the internet now anyway. If you still don't fully understand cryptocurrencies, down in the notes below is a special discount to our newsletter and access to our book, Bitcoin Basics. And also, I've done a special 4-video series showing why cryptocurrencies are so important. If you watch them all and want to get more info afterwards, we'll send you your first $50 in Bitcoin directly from me personally. Don't be like the health ranger in Jim Cramer and look like an idiot in public with no knowledge about cryptocurrencies. Check out our Bitcoin book and free 4-video series in the notes below. No matter what you do though, turn off CNBC and the television programming. It's called programming for a reason. Stick with us here at dollarvigilante.com or subscribe to us on YouTube or like us on Facebook. And also check us out on steemit.com. Speaking of Steam, you may recall our video, Steam Explodes Higher. It's time everyone looks at steemit again, from just a month ago. At the time, Steam was trading at 25 cents. It's currently trading at $2.50 for a nice 1,000% gain. Turn off Cramer and CNBC and stay tuned here for more.
Getting and staying rich requires two things: getting involved early enough on a trend where you can be almost certain of huge exponential returns, and protecting your gains from taxation, inflation, confiscation, theft, and lawsuits. Thanks to the cutting-edge technology Bitcoin, the nationless private banking system offers real opportunities for both. Learn how the nationless private banking system provides a platform for amazing profit over the next decade, while protecting your current savings from a collapsing dollar for free. Click on the link for more information, and for a limited time, learn how to qualify for a deposit of $50 worth of Bitcoin to your private bank account.